only mode.
स्वागतम् द्वितीयो भागः रामायणं सुन्दरकाण्डम् प्रथमतः मङ्गलाचरणं रामो राजमणिः सदा विजयते रामं रमेशं भजे रामेणाभिहता निशाचरचमू रामाय तस्मै नमः रामान्नास्ति पराणं परतरं रामस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम् रामे चित्तले सदा भवतु मे भो राम मामुद्धर राम रामेति रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने श्रीराम नाम वरानन ओं नम इति सूत्राणि. Yes, sir.
My recording doesn't seem to start. I don't know whether it did or not.
Okay.
It doesn't seem.
Okay, I'll also record that. I'll record back up. Okay, I will record. Second. Okay, so one more time again. This is Feb 11, second session, Sundarakandam, Ramayanam. Let's do the Maheshwara Sutrani. Maheshwara Sutrani. Ayun ruk eong ai ouch hayavarat lan anyamanga na nam jabanj gadadash jabagadash kapha chata chata kapai sha sar hal. So Feb 11, second session, Feb 11, 2012, second session, Sundarakanda. But last time we looked at this Panchavimsha Sargaha, the 25th Sarga. I think we did the Sankshipta Varnanam. So Rakshasi Gana Santarjanam Sodhuma Samartha Janakya Shoka Shakhamalambya Ramadina Akroshan Shrudhara Bhiraplita Netra Praroditi, which is Rakshasi Gana Santarjanam Sodhuma Samartha Janakya Shoka Shakhamalambya Ramadina Akrosantya Shrudhara Bhiraplita Netra Praroditi. We did this last time. Padacheda is Rakshasi Gana Santarjanam Sodhum Asamartha Janaki Ashoka Shakham Alambya Ramadin Akroshanti. Now be careful. This is the Padacheda Akroshanti. Now we do not know whether Padacheda could have been Akroshanti as a Tingantam Padam. This Akroshanti is actually Subantam Padam. So this is, you have to be very careful. Don't jump to the conclusion it is a Tingantam Padam, Prathama Purusha Bhochanam. It is not. This is a Subantam Padam. This is what called Vartamani Kridanta Prayogaha. It is present participle. We have not done this in detail in the Vyakanam class so far. So you may be tempted to do the Padacheda as Akroshanti. If you do that, that will imply that there should be some Bahuvachana Kartaraha. There should be some doer in Bahuvachanam. And clearly that's what this is like a nice puzzle. Every sentence is like a nice puzzle for us, When we get some various clues and we have to put it all together to make sense. Depending also what the context is, what the intentional speaker could be. And of course, once in a while, we have to change some Vyakaranam to allow for the usage. Because this is a language, it's not mathematics. So we have to allow for some little inconsistencies here and there. So in short, if you take this as Akroshanti, that will imply a Bahuvachana Prayogaha, and then this Janaki is Prathama Ekvachanam, it will not go well with that. Not only that, we already have a Tingantam Padam Praroditi. Okay. So now taking all that into consideration, we have to now rethink what could be this form. And this is unfortunately, in Bhagavad Gita, we don't have many feminine forms. So I don't think there'll be a Gita example for this. But the Padacheda is Akroshanti, like Gachanti, Pathanti, like that. It is a Prathama Purusha Ekvachanam. It is a Subantam Padam, like a Nadivat Shabdaha. Akroshanti. So watch out for that, please. Is that these present participles, when you add a pratyaya shatru, which is the at, then in the feminine, because of ugitascha, the pratyaya gneep comes ugitascha, and so it becomes nadi like shabdaha. And not only that, So ugitascha will be, as I mentioned to you many times, nothing can be used in the feminine unless it is checked out by the adhikara of striyam. And the adhikara of striyam starts from 413, goes up to about 418-ish, and there Sisutram is ajadyatashta, but then ugitascha say runnebhyo, nip ugitascha. The shatru is an ugit, it has the rikara as an it, so that's where the pratyaya nip comes over there. And then we have looked at the sutram which is shapshano nityam, the num agama. That we have looked at. So actually you do have a clue. You do have a clue at this form. Because we have studied this set of 4 rules, the Sutra Chatushtayam. So, Bahunam Bhrantikarakam. This set of 4 rules can be often be very confusing. This is Nabhyasta Chatuhu, Va Napumsakasya, Achinadyornum, and Shapshano Nityam. We have spent like almost like a bulk of one class on these 4 rules. So if you're going to go and revise them, so Shap Shan or Nitya means the akara of Shap or Shan. Such a akara, and from the prior sutram, this is a context of a num agamaha for the Shatru Pratyaya. So you do know the fact that this can take a num agamaha. And the prior sutram was saying Achinadyornum, if you have a avarnantam angam, right, and then following that if you have the Shatru Pratyaya, then you can get a numagama optionally, but Shinadyoho Napumsakalinge Dvivachanam and Prathama Dvitiya Dvivachanam Athva Nadi means the Sri Pratyaya neep which is coming there. So in the Prajabadikam will take the numagama. So here the form is derived. So akroshanti, this could be one confusing thing in this thing, is akroshanti is a prathama ekvachanam, which is a present participle. It is not a tingantam padam. It's not lat lakara prathama purusha bhavachanam. So then ashrudhara bhihi apluta netra praroditi. Even if you don't get the whole sentence, the simple sentence is Janaki praroditi, means she cries intensely. Roditi. Of course, Roditi is a straightforward form. Dhatu Rudra. Only thing here is that the id agama has come in spite of the fact that the pratyaya does not have the sanya of ardhadhatukam. Remember, we always keep on pressing the sutram, which is ardhadhatuka syed valadehe, right? When the id agama comes, valadehe condition is always there. But the last, I think, 3 rules of this section talk about an idagamaha, when the pratyaya following a sanya of sarvadhatukam. By rudadibhyas sarvadhatuke, isha se, and the next one also. So the sarvadhatuke. So this rudadibhyas sarvadhatuke, but still valadi, still valadi. So this dhatu rud, this belongs to the adadi ganaha. I think, has Ravi put it down here? Put it down here. Okay, we didn't put it down here. But dhatu rud belongs to the adadi ganaha. So adipravrittibhya shapaha. So shap look, and so we got rud plus tip. Of course, we get uganta laghu patasya cha. But then the tip takes the id agamaha. Rudadibhya sarvadhatuke. Do not confuse it with rudadibhyashnam. Rudhadi. That rudhadi. Mahapranaha, Rudadi. That's the Saptama Ganaha, 7th Gana. But the Rudadi Bhyasarvadhatuke is talking about an id agamaha. Id agamaha. So anyway, Dhatu Rud, so that Prarodati is a Lat Lakaraha, Pratham Purusha, Ekavachanam. Only thing special there is the id agamaha, which is being taken by a pratyaya, which is Sarvadhatukam and not Ardhadhatukam. So Dhatu Rud is this Rudir Ashru Vimochane in the Adadi Ganaha. Okay, so that is that form over here. So simple sentence is that Janaki Praroditi. Now she has one adjective to her, asamartha, not capable of what? Sodhum. Dhatu saha. I think in Hindi. Yes. Go ahead.
Satish, the definition for the derivation for Roditi is right above this verse.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, it is right here. Yes, thank you, Ravi. And again, Ravi put the document in place. Thank you. It's right over here. Rudir, I think she cried previously also. Sundar Kandam means Sita is crying all the time. So yes, so she already put it. I think in the last class I talked to, we talked about it. So if somebody is crying in Sundar Kandam, you can be quite sure it's probably, unfortunately, Sita. Sita Devi cries a lot. So right here we have Roditi, and now we have Praroditi. She cries even more. After the next sarga, she cries even more. Anyway, so correct. So Ravi is correct. So we have the derivation right here in Roditi, and the sutram is Rudadibhyas Sarvadhatuke. Thank you, Ravi. So now we have one adjective word is asamartha. Asamartha means samartha is capable, asamartha is na samartha iti asamartha. Simple negation compound was called the nyai tatpurusha, and by na lopo nayah. This nai is a particle which Panini uses to form the tatpurusha compounds in the sense of negation, like abrahmanaha, anamvyayaha, so on and so forth, anadi. So there, but the na lopo nayah, nakar of na takes that nai takes lopa by 6373 asamartha. And asamartha for what? Sodhum. Sodhum. So saha is to bear, saha marshane is to bear. So unable to bear, unable to bear. Now, okay. Now the thing is that we saw the pratyaya tumun comes in variety of senses, and the three main rules, which this is difficult to keep, because in fact just today in the class we looked at the adhikara of bhavishyati. In that adhikara we have this tumunvalau kriyayam kriyarthayam. When we do one action for the sake of doing another action, as kriyartha kriya. When such an action is there, the other action takes a pratyaya tumun. For example, drashtum agacchati. So the agamana kriya is a kriyartha kriya. It is being done, so he comes to look at something. So his intention is to look at something. The action of coming has its purpose in the second action of looking. That second action takes the pratyaya tumun. We don't have that right now. We don't have two actions like that, where one action is being done for the purpose of doing another action later, bhavishyati. We don't have that. See, Sodhum asamartha, she is incapable of bearing, of putting up with. Then can we use the next sutram which we used, is which we looked at, is 3.3, I think 157 it is samana 158, samana kritrikeshu tumun. Like when someone desires something for himself, herself, like drashtumichhami te rupam, right? So drashtumichhami, so bhoktumichhami, shrotumichhami, shrotum vanchhami, any dhatu in the sense of desiring something. I desire to do X, or he desires to do X. We don't have that either. Right now we have sodhum asamartha. There is no ichartha dhatu here. But then comes the sutram 3465, which gives a list of dhatus, and one of them is shaka, to be able. So samartha and shaka are the same meanings. So he's able. Like for example, gantum shaknoti, drashtum shaknoti, yodhum shaknoti, which he's able to do that. So to be able, or by extension unable, then with that also tumun can be used. That tumun can be used. Means to be able, or of course unable to do something. So that in comes in Bhagavad Gita, I think we already talked maybe in the last class itself, is in chapter 11. This comes in the last part of chapter 11 in a very beautiful way. Is in chapter 11, very last few verses, is Shakya yam vido drashtum drishtavan siman yatha, and so on. And it comes, Shakyaha, aham drashtum Shakyaha, I'm able to be seen. Oh, this is a passive form, but still. So next time we chant chapter 11 of Gita. In the last few verses you are, think of this sutram. Think of the sutram, which is Shaka, Drisha, Jna, Gla, Ghata, Rabha, Labha, Krama, Sahar, Hastyarte, Sho. And because the dhatu Shaka is very mentioned first over there, and in Bhagavad Gita chapter 11, last few verses, comes Shakyaha, it comes over there. I think Shakya again comes over here. So right now we have asamartha. That's why the word sodhum. So that sodhum is in fact, you can do an exercise for you. You can go through Bhagavad Gita and see, because tumun is used a lot. You can see in which places tumun may fall under 3310, which may fall under 33158, which may fall under 3465, and which may be some other things also, but most of them you will catch within these three. So sodhum, the dhatu is sahamarshane, is to bear. So when you add the pratyaya tumun, now there is a special sutram in the, we cannot do all in this class, it's not a grammar class, but 7 to 48 lists a set of dhatus which take the id agama optionally when the pratyaya following is takaradi. So isha, so isha saha lubha rusha rishaha. So by 7 to 48, if you want to do some homework, look at 7 to 48. The id agama is optional when the dhatu saha among some other dhatus is followed by pratyaya which is takaradi. So this sodhum is when the id agama is not there, it is optional. So then in that case what happens, we do some sandhikaryam, so saha becomes sadha because of the hodha, jalipadante hodha, dhakaradeshaha, and of course we get jashastator dhodha, so the takara becomes dhakaraha, and then we get shtunashtuhu. Normally speaking, shtunashtu should have been asiddham in the eyes of the dhodhe lopaha. But if we do that, then dhodhe lopaha will not have a chance anywhere to apply. So that is why vachana samarthyat, we make the shtuttam siddham in the other dhodhe lopaha. Then the same logic we apply for. Normally what do we have? We have dra lope purvasa dirghonaha, dra lope. When the dhakara lopaha, the repa lopaha takes place by dhodhe lopaha rori, then the prior vowel gets elongated. So we get dra lope purvasa dirghonaha. But right now there's a special rule which comes right after that. The same technique. We know dra lope purvasa dirghonaha very well. So it is now quite easy to extend that to the next rule, which says that sahi vahorodha varnasya. For these two special dhatus, saha and vaha, instead of getting a dirgha adeshaha, the avarna becomes the okara adeshaha. Sahi vahorodha varnasya. So we get the form sodhum. So if you want to do some homework, look at 3465. Then do sandhikaryam by hodha, jashastathor dhodha, shtunashtuhu, then dhodhe lopaha, then sahivahor odavarnasya. So we got sodhum. So she was not able to bear. Able to bear what? Tarjanam, the threatening or the scolding being done by whom? Rakshasi gana santarjanam. Santarjanam means really severe scolding. So Rakshasi nam ganaha. Then tesham santarjanam. So this Rakshasi nam gana, straightforward Shashti Samasaha, Rakshasi gana nam santarjanam. So this is a sutram which is Kartukarmanoho kriti. When the krit pratyaya is added, we say in English the scolding of the groups of Rakshasis. Now, are they the ones being scolded? Are they the ones which are scolding? You don't know. From this usage, Rakshasi Gana Santarjanam, you do not know whether the Rakshasi Ganas are being scolded or they are the ones who are scolding. Why do you not know that? Because 2365 says Kartru Karmanoho Kriti. So then you have to specify Rakshasi Gananam, Kartru Bhutanam Santarjanam. So they are the doers. So this was Santarjanam. Okay, if you want, so we cannot do all this in this class because it's going to take us a long time. So that's why I'm giving you some pointers, and you're welcome to research on your own and also ask questions if you have questions. So 2365 is used to do this, get the Shashti Vibhakti there. Now, one more complication here is that the Shashti Samasaha, normally there are two things going on here. One is Shashti Vibhakti and Shashti Tatrusha Samasaha. The Shashti Vibhakti we got by 2365, Kartukarmanoho Kriti. Now the Shashti Samasaha which you want to form will be formed with the Sutram Shashti, which is 2150. To form any Samasa in this language, you have to, 2250. You have to find a Sutram. No, I'm sorry, excuse me. 228. Excuse me. I'm sorry. 228. 228. Shashti. 228. Not. Again, one more time. The Shashti Samasa is formed by 228 Shashti. Because the Adhikar of Tatpurusha. So first of all, to form any Samasa in this language, you have to find a Sutram or maybe Vartikam in chapter 2, quarter 1 or 2. So in 2.1 or 2.2 of Ashtadhyayi. And Sutram for Shashti Samas. And within that, the Purusha Adhikara goes from 2.1.2 up to 2.2.2.2. Very soon we're going to see all this in the Ramayanam class. So far we're not done yet. In the Wednesday class we've done this in great detail, but not in the Saturday class so far. So the Sutram Shashti, 280. But that has one condition on that. A Sutram Shashti is normally can only make a Shashti, which is by this Sutram, which is Shashti Sheshe. We are not, our like, Rajnya Purusha, Raja Purusha. But our compound right now is not, our Shashti didn't come by Shashti Sheshe. It came by this Sutram, which we just saw, which is the Kartikramano Kriti. Then how can we form the Samasaha? Because the Sutram Shashti 228 is normally authorized to form a Samasaha only by Sutram Shashti Sheshe. Not going into too many details. But there's a Vartikam on that. It says Krudyoga Shashti Samasyate iti Vaktavyam. This Shashti of 2365 also compounds. So in very brief, the Sutram 228 normally is applied only if the Shashti comes by the Sutram 2350. But a Vartikam also extends that to a Sutram 2365. So when the Shashti comes by 2365, that can also be compounded by 228 by a Vartikam. Okay, if you want to do some homework, you can do that. So Rakshasi Gananam Santarjanam Soduma Samartha. There's one small clause over here is Alambya. Dhatu Alambya. Dhatu is Labi. Is Avasram Sane. To rest on something. So like Swalambanam. Swavalambanam. Alambanam means to be alamba. So avalamba is to rest on, to depend on, So it says that. So she was resting, she was supporting herself. She was, she was taking the support of a Ashoka Shakha, Ashoka Vrikshasya Shakham Alambya. Look at the ending, Lyap ending. I hope you're getting some confidence with that. The Pratyaktva comes Samanakritukya Purvakale, when there are, that's 3.4.21, is when the same doer does two actions, then the Purvartini Kriya gets that dhatu gets the Pratyaktva. And that if it goes in a compound, we get the Lyap Adesha by 7.137, which is Samasanyam Purvek Tvo Lyap. This Alambya implies somebody doing two actions, and Sita is the one Janaki. Janaki comes from Janaka. Nikasya Apatyam Stri Janaki. So you get she who was resting on a branch of the Ashoka tree, she was crying loudly. She is crying. This is the story is already in the past tense. The scene is already in the past, so it says it uses lat lakaraha. Now, so let's finish this form, which is alambya dhatu labi avasram sane, because of the ikas and idito num dhatoho. Idito num dhatu. We've seen that sutram. So even if you don't understand all the entire form as yet, you can at least understand some pieces of that. And we have done idito num dhatoho in great detail. So dhatu labi is an idit. So before doing anything else, bring in the numagamaha, of course, bidachontyatvaraha, anubandha lopaha, and then we get lanba, and then we have the pratyaktva because of samanakritika purvakale, and then after that we make a tatrusha compound, kugati pradayaha. So this the ang comes in and joins there. So then after that we make the lyap adesha by 7.137, which I just mentioned to you. In a compound, the twa becomes lyap. Anubandha lopaha vilashakvita halantyam. And then finally we get the naschavadantasya jali anuswaraha in parasavarna adesha. By anuswarasya parasavarnaha. So we get alambya. So alambya tells us that she is doing two actions. So resting on the shaka, she cries intensely. One last thing is akroshanti. I just told you about that. Dhatu is krusha. Avane rodanecha, to kind of to scream or to yell or to cry loudly. Akroshaha is to scream or yell or wail loudly. So we have done this prakriya many times. The pratyaya lat comes the vartamane lat. Let us shatrishana chava prathama samanadikarane. Present participle. Let can be replaced by shatrishana cha. Of course, because of left prasnapadam, tangana atmane padam 1499, 14100. The shanach is atmanepadam, shatru is prasnapadam, but this dhatu is prasnapadi dhatu, so we bring in shatru pratyaya, pratyaya shap comes in bindra kartari shap, anubandha lopaha, then we get puganta labhupadasya cha, then atogune we get kroshat. Now then when we go in the feminine, because this is the akara of the pratyaya shap is here, we get the numagamaha by 7181. We've done this test previously, so if you want to do some homework, you can look at the sutram Shapshano Nityam. Shapshano Nityam 7181 with numagamaha. And finally we get the compound by Kugati Pradeha, get a Gati Samasa, Akroshanti. I know this sounding a lot, this is new to you, but you can come back to these lectures when we learn all those topics. You can come back to this and appreciate all these forms more at that time. And finally, aplute netre yasyaha sa, one whose eyes were flushed with tears. Pluta. So Pluta is right. Comes in Gita. Yavan artha udapane sarvatastam plutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. So samplutodake, sampluta. So Pluta is flooded. So completely drenched with. So her eyes were flushed with tears. So aplute netre yasyaha sa. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There seems to be a type of aplute netre. Aplute natre.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, correct. You cannot catch your own mistakes. So that's the thing. Yes, aplute netre yasyaha. Thank you, Ravi. Thank you. You need a netram for that. Thank you. Okay. So then that completes the sentence. It says that, and then so Ramadin is a object of akroshan. So she was screaming out for Rama, etc. She was screaming for them. Of course, Ramadi is a Bahuvri Samasa. Ramaha Adir Yeshamte. So it is those people beginning with Ramaha. Means in English it becomes Rama, etc. This etc. is expressed by Bahuvri compound in Sanskrit. When you say Indradeha Devaha, Paninyadeha Vayyakaranaha. So when you say Adi means that it is a set whose beginning is that. So means it translates in English to etc. So Rama, etc. will be Ramadayaha, Indradayaha, and so on and so forth. So means that it is in this language, the way to express the etc. is to form a Bahuvri compound. Okay, let me see. Let me close it, Ravi. Okay. So Ravi, I'm closing my page, Ravi. Okay. So I'm closing my page. So you can go ahead and edit, Ravi. Okay. I'm closing my page. Okay. So Rama, there is Rama Adi Yeshamte, Rama, etc. Rama Adi like Harin. Of course, we get the Tasma Chason of Pungsi. So like Harin, Hari Shabdaha. So means Rama, etc. We see last time we saw unable asamartha to endure sodhum. The threats is tarjanam. Tarja is to scold or to threaten. Santarjanam is the threats of the Shashti Samasaha. The ogresses is the Rakshasi Gananam, really the groups of Rakshasis, and calling aloud is Akroshanti. Shri Rama and others is Ramadin. Sita is Janaki. Bursts into a well is Praroditi. Now what has not been translated is the Ashoka Shakham Alambya. It has not been translated, so we have to supply that resting on a branch of the Ashoka tree. So let me just refresh this document. Let's see if you can get the correction in place. Yeah. Ravi, did you make the correction, Ravi? Did you make the correction, Ravi? Go ahead.
Yes, you have to refresh again.
Okay. Okay. We try to keep these pages as clean as possible, but of course there are some errors which if you can catch. So yeah, here it is. Aplute netre, yes, is also Bahuri compound. One whose eyes are flushed with tears. Let's go next. Let's go take one verse from this. It's a very famous verse, by the way. This is a famous verse from the Ramayana. Very nice verse. I mean, and nice in a certain way. Digastu khalu manushyam, digastu paravashyatam, na shakyam yat parityaktum atmachandena jivitam. Digastu khalu manushyam, digastu paravashyatam, na shakyam yat parityaktum atmachandena jivitam. Ravi, padacheda for us, Ravi?
Dhik.
Dhik, okay.
Astu.
Astu.
Khalu.
Khalu.
Manushyam.
Manushyam.
Dhik.
Dhik.
Astu.
Astu.
Paravashyatam.
Paravashyatam.
Na.
Na.
Shakyam.
Shakyam.
Yat.
Yat.
Parityaktum.
Parityaktum.
Atmachandena.
Atmachandena.
Jivitam.
Jivitam. Thank you. Of course, you have astu a couple of times. Clearly, you know that form by now. This is a lot lakaraha. Pratham purusha ekavachanam. Asabhui means to be, means be, to be, let it be, or may it be. Let it be. Normally in English, we can translate lot as by the word let it be. So let there be shame. Dig is shame on, fire on that. Means means enough shame on that. So shame on that, fire on this thing. Means like in English, hell with it, hell with it. So that is this dik is a avyayam. It expresses the meaning of shame on, fire on that, or hell with that. That's the meaning of dik. So dik, and that takes a dvitiya vibhakti in connection with that. So if you want to do some homework, there's a vyakhyanam, the commentary on 232. Normally what do we have? Karmani dvitiya, the object of a verb is dvitiya. Right now we don't have that. We have avyam dik. But in connection with dik, we have to use dvitiya. So diktvam, so shame on you. Right? So it will be like that. So this is the vyakhyanam on 232, which says Ubasarvata soho karya dik uparyadishu trishu. So if you want to do some homework, look at 232. There's a vyakhyanam there, there's a karika there which says that in connection with dik, dvitiya vibhakti has to be used. So this manushyam and paravashyatam is a dvitiya vibhakti because of dvitiya ekvachanam, both cases. Its connection with dik. So shame on, the state of being a human being, of humanness, and shame on being under somebody else's control. So hell with this human state. So hell with this human state, and hell with this condition of being in subjugation, subject to somebody else's will. Why? This yat is an avyayam. So you have to be careful with this now. The important thing in the shloka is that yat is an avyayam. It can mean yasmat, may also mean yatra. We take it as yasmat, simple meaning yasmat. So please watch out for this. The yat and tat are used commonly in the meaning of avyayam. So yat, of course, it can mean the prathama, dvitiya, ekavachanam, napumsaka lingya of pradipadikam yat or tad. But it can also be as an avyayam, yat meaning yasmat, tat meaning tasmat. So please keep this in. It's very important. Is that yat is often used as an avyayam, meaning because, and tat meaning therefore. Because na shakyam parityaktum. It is not same thing, the pratyatuman, the same sutram, 3465. Because dhatu shak is being used here. We have this tumun coming with that. Because it's not possible to renounce. Not possible to renounce. What? Jivitam. Jivitam tyaktum na shakyam. Now this jivitam is a neuter noun now. This is not what we call the past passive participle. Again, if you want to do some homework, we cannot take all this in the class in detail, take too much time, but the thing is that this jivitam is not qualifying somebody else as an adjective. It is a noun in its own. So when we say our famous sentence, Ramena Vali Hataha, when we say Hataha, that Hataha is an adjective to Vali. Vali was killed by Rama. You know, so, but this is not like that. This jivita is not an adjective. This jivitam is a noun, is a neuter noun, like jivanam. So jivanam and jivitam. So here jivitam stands for like jivanam. It is not adjective, because otherwise it should be an adjective for something else. It is not that. So you have to watch out for this also, is that this pratyaya lyut and pratyaya, I should say, I'm sorry, pratyakta. Napumsake bhavekta, as what Panini says. Napumsake bhavekta is that you can form neuter abstract nouns. Bhave means to bring out the meaning of the verb, what the verb says. So jivitam means life. Life, the act of living or life. That's jivitam. It is not an adjective for anybody else. This is a napumsake bhavekta. The same pratyakta. Don't forget the sutram taktavatu nishtha 1126 still applies. This kta also has the sanya of nishtha, but it's in a different meaning now. It is not the usual sutram nishtha which we use all the time, the so-called past passive participle. This is now the pratyakta is being used to create a neuter noun. This is by 33114. Napumsake bhavektaha. So if you want to do some homework, 33114 napumsake bhavektaha. Like, you know, balakasya hasanam, tasyaha rodanam, tasyaha jalpitam, and so on. So these are nouns. So don't jump to the conclusion that because the pratyakta is there, this is a past passive participle. This is a neuter. They can also be neuter nouns, the pratyakta. So jivitam. Of course, the idagama is there. Dhatu jiv is halanta dhatu. It is not in the list of exceptions. So it is a udatto padeshaha. So we get the idagamaha. So you can sort of appreciate some of the, even though you may not know the pratyakta, you may not be too familiar with. You may not know napumsake bhavektaha, but you do know 7 to 35 ardhadhatukasya valade. So you can appreciate that. So now she says that, so hell with this human state. Diggastu, indeed, khalu means indeed, enough, shame on this, fire on this human state, manushyam. Digastu paravashyatam. So fire on this, or hell with this dependence on others, or being subservience. Hell with subservience. Because it's not possible to renounce jivitam. You cannot even give up your own life. Atma chandena. No, chanda in this case means ichha, your fancy, your will. So like swachanda means one who is self-willed, you know. So chandaha means in this case ichha, your fancy, your will. Whatever you want to do, that's chanda. So atma chandena means swachandena. Jivitam parityaktum na shakyam. So the shakyam, it is, you know, it is qualifying jivitam. So life cannot be given up by your own will. So this human state is so horrible. And on top of that, if you're subject to somebody else, then you cannot even give up your life on your own. So this is what Sita finally, unfortunately, Sita is coming to the end of her patience. She says this human state is shameful. Shame on this human state. And shame on this situation of being under the control of somebody else, because you cannot even give up your own life at your own will. At your own will. You know, you cannot even do that. So okay, now Vyakaranam wise, this manushyam is manushasya bhavaha manushyam. In fact, we just had this in great detail in our Wednesday class. So if you want to go and listen to this class, you can do that. This is the adhikara. Well, just very, very briefly over here is, again, if you want, I keep on repeating, if you want to do some homework, you can look at adhikaraha of tasya bhavastvatalao, the state of thatness, tasya bhavastvatalao. And there we have a sutram called Gunavachana Brahmanadibhyah Karmanicha. The pratyashay can be used after the set of words which are Gunavachana, these adjectives, not participles but adjectives, and Brahmanadi Ganaha, Akriti Ganaha, the pratyashay can be used in that, like Saundaryam, Karpanyam, Morkhyam, so Brahmanadi Ganaha is also Ganaha. Prior to that, Varna Dridadibhyashaincha. So one of these two. The thing is that the Brahmanadi Ganaha you can also use in Karmanicha. You can use also in the action or profession or the duty or the activities of that. So Brahmanadi Ganaha, it is the pratyashay, not only bhave but also Karmanicha. The Brahmanadi Ganaha is an Akriti Ganaha. It can be extendable, akritya ganyate. So if you want to do some homework, look at 5.1, 123, 124. I think 124 should fit here, unless Manushya happens to be the Dridadi Gana. I don't think it is. So Manushya bhavaha manushyam, 5.1, 120. This pratyaya is a tadita pratyaya in the adhikar of tasya bhavastvatalo, which starts from 5.1, and goes to end of 5.1. In the Wednesday class, we have in full detail very recently, just last week and week before that. Once you have the pratyashay, now anubandha lopaha by shaf pratyayasya halantyam tasya lopaha. In the meanwhile, this samudaya gets the pratipadika sanya, which we do know, kritidita samasascha, and supo dhatu pratipadika yoho supluk. So then the pratyanyas goes away, tasya bhava, so manushasya bhava, manushyam. You get the adi vriddhi, because tadhiteshvacham adehe, sutram which we have used in this class, achonyiti, and the atopadhayaha, where after that comes tadhiteshvacham adehe, tadhita pratyaya, which is either chavarga panchama or the tavarga panchama as an it. Then that will do the vriddhi of the first among the vowels. So here we go as manusya. And then finally, interesting sutram. This is for you, Ravi. Sutram here is, maybe you already know this, is that we know sutram, but it applies here, is that it is the 8464 from 8464, and that sutram says that halo yamam yami lopaha, halo yamam yami lopaha. So if you have a hal, right, followed by the a yam followed by the same yam. What is yam? Hayavarat. So start from ya all the way up to nyamanganam. So that this yakara of course is a yam. So if you have a yakaraha, so if you have a hal, yam, conjunct. So one more time, you have the hal, which is this Udana shakara, followed by the ya and ya. Then we get one yakara takes lopa optionally. So halo yamam yami lopaha, get manushyam. Then paresham vashaha paravashaha, the control of somebody else. Here you have special sutram 4486, which Panini has. I think if you want to look at it later on, is a sutram. It says that vashangataha, pratyayat is used. See, in the Ashtadhyaya, this 4.4 is an adhikaraha of tag and yat. This pratyaya is tag and yat, which I know we have not done in detail in this class, but we have this prag bhavate shtag, and then we have from 4475, I think starts pragita dyat, and there the sutram it says vashangataha vashyaha. So vashangataha vashyaha means you can take the vash, add the pratyaya yat, and we can get the form vashyaha. So one who has gone to subject to somebody else's control is vashyaha. Subservient is vashyaha. So we get the form paravashyaha. So paravashya is pratipadikam. So if you want to do some homework, look at 4486. Interestingly, whenever Panini gives one special sutram, derive one special form, always pay attention to that. Why is Panini doing that? So there's something special going on here. Normally, he will not waste a sutram to derive one word, but he is being forced to do that. So there's some speciality here. a peculiar usage is going on here. So whenever Panini does that, we should pay attention to that. So Vasham Gataha is Sutram 4486. Pratyayat comes special meaning. So the single meaning of Vasham Gataha means somebody who's subject to control, subservient. Pratyayat is used after Prajapati Vash. So in this case, of course, we got Paravasha. Now Paravasha was a Tatpurusha compound. Tatpurusha compound has a Pradhanyam, the Uttarapadam. We can reduce a Tatpurusha compound to the Uttarapadam because the main term of Tatpurusha compound is the Uttarapadam. So we can just take Vasha and and add Pratyayat, same old steps, Supluk by Supodhatu Prajapatikayoho and by Halantyam. And then we get the Bhasanya by Yachibham. One more reminder is that the Swadishu Pratyaha is not only the 21 Supratyaha. They include all the Sri Pratyaha and all the Ditas also. So don't think the Swadi is only the Supratyaha. The Swadi goes all the way from 412 to end of chapter 5. So when Panini says in 1417 Swadishva Sarvanamasthane and Yachibham, he means all of these. So here the Pratyaya is Yakaradi. So by Yachibham we get the Bhasanya and then Yasyeticha. Yasyeticha says that if you have an Angam which is the Bhasanya ending in the A-varana or E-varana, it takes Lopaha. Tadite Ikarecha Pareya. Adhikar of Taditaha goes from 4176 to end of chapter 5. So the Sutram of Vasham Gataha is in the Adhikar of Taditaha. So then everything is satisfied. You do the Akar Lopa, you get Vashya. If you want to do some homework, 64148. Then Paravashyasya Bhavaha Paravashyata. We just derived Manushyam, the same Adhikara, Tasya Bhavastva Talau, the very first Sutram, Tasya Bhavastva Talau, Tva and Tal. Pratyaya Tal can be used, and the Tal is used Triyam in the feminine. That's just the usage in the language. When we add the Pratyaya Tal, Anubandha Lopa Halantyam, then Ajadyata stop, because nothing can be used in the feminine unless it's first checked out by Adhikara of Striyam. And the first Sutram says in Striyam, says Ajadyata stop. Ajadikana terms and Ataha. A term ending in Akara takes a Pratyaya top on top of it. That's the joke. Takes a Pratyaya top on top. So we add a Pratyaya top on top of it and we get, of course, Anubandha Lopaha and then Akasava Dirgha Paravashyata. Then Yat is an Avyam meaning Yasmat and Tyajaha now. Same Pratyaya Tumun. Same Sutram which is Shaka, just 3465 because Shaka is there in Upapadam. Because Upapadam, look at the Saptami Bhavachanam here. Shaka, Drisha, Gnya, Gla, Gata, Rabha, Labha, Krama, Sahar, Hastyarteshu, Saptami Bhavachanam. Because we are in the Adhikara of Tatra Upapadam Saptami Stham. So when one of these dhatus are in Upapadam, when they are close by, then Tubun can be used. This is the Adhikara of Tatra Upapadam Saptami Stham. All the Adhikara is so important. It's so important because Tatra Upapadam Saptami Stham. So this 3465 has a Saptami in that, which means that one of those dhatus should be used in Upapadam, means close by. Then Tumun can be used in connection with that. So right now we have Parityaktum Ashakyam. So we follow the steps again, Tyaja. Now the question to Idagamaha, I told you, put that paper on your wall, Idagamaha. So now in Janteshu, the dhatus ending in a Jakaraha. This dhatu Tyaj is in a list of exceptions. So Janteshu, Tyaj, very first one. Tyaja, Nijar, Bhaja, Bhanja, Bhuja, Bhrashja, Masja, Yaja, Yuja, Ruja, Ranja, Vijar, Swanja, Sanja, Sujaha, Panchadasha. These 15 dhatus do not allow Idagamaha. Anudattupadeshaha. So Tyaja is the first in there. So no Idagamaha. And then of course you do Sandhikaryam by Chohokuho, then Kharicha, and then form a Samasa, Parityaktum by Kugati Paradeyaha. Then Atmanaha Chanda, Atmachandaha, Atmaicha. Atmaicha is Atmachandaha. Simple Shashti compound. Only thing here is the Prajapati is Atman. So Atman plus Nyas plus Chanda plus Su. When we get the Supluk by Supo Dhatu Prajapatika Yoho. 2471. Now Atman gets the Padasanya by Pratyay Lope Pratyay Lakshanam Suptingantam Padam 1162, 1414. Then what happens? No lopa pradipadikantasya. The atma, the nakara is at the end of a pradipadikam, which has the padasanya now. So then we get atma plus chanda. The question is that nakara lopa normally should not be seen by sutram checha 6173, because that no lopaha pradipadikanta, that is in Tripadi section 827. But we want to do the tukka agamaha, then recall the sutram 822, which limits the authority of 821. So normally Purvatra Siddham will screen any earlier sutram for seeing an operation which is done by these rules. So the no lopa should be asiddha in the eyes of 6173. But the 822 comes and says no lopa will be asiddha only for these four operations. Sup, swara, sanyatuk vidishukriti. Sup, swara, sanyatuk vidishukriti. And the 6173 is not one of these four. So this sutram we have seen in prior classes. If you want to do some homework, look at 822. So that is why the nakara lopaha becomes siddha. And then we can apply checha. Remove sutram checha, remove the adhikara of samhitayam. We start from 6172. The very first sutram in adhikara is checha. Anuvritya rasvasya. And then tuk is coming down here. So a rasvaha means rasva can only mean vowel. Remember that rasva, dirgha, pluta, all these are only for vowels, because the consonants don't have any rasva, dirgha, bheda. So rasvasya means achaha. Tuk agama bhavati che means chakare pare samhitayam. One more time. In samhita, in continuous speech, if the chakara is following a vowel which is a short vowel, that short vowel takes a tuk agamaha. Now, within a samasa, samhita is nityam, because within a samasa, the speaker cannot stop speaking inside a compound. So, samhita nitya, samase, since samasa. We are inside a compound. So then we get the tukka agamaha, then of course adyanto takito anubandha lopaha, and finally stoshchunashchuho. So it's a good chance for you to practice these fundamental ideas, fundamental concepts. Is that first of all, pratyay lope pratyay lakshanam suptingantam padam. Atman got the padasanya even inside the compound. It's inside a compound is a padasanya. Be careful now. Padasanya doesn't necessarily mean it cannot be in a compound. So Atman is inside the compound with the padasanya. Nakara takes lopa by 8 to 7. No lopa padivadikantasya. But that would normally be asiddha. But 8 to 2 comes and limits the authority of 8 to 1. So no lopaha supsa sanyatu vidishukriti becomes siddha. Then you apply 6173 to kagamaha. And then finally soshchanaschho. Then atmachande, no atmich. Okay, Ravi, do the translation for us, please. How about shame? What do you say?
Dhik.
Dhik. Indeed.
Indeed, khalu.
Khalu. B.
Astu.
I think the shame on is dhik. Okay, so shame on. The human state.
Manushyam.
Manusham. And the and is understood. Again, shame upon is
Dhik.
dhik. And B is again understood. Dependence on others.
Paravashyatam.
Para, the para is the other. The para has a para can also mean supreme, superior, another, So para can also mean enemy. Parantapaha. So paran tapayati parantapaha. The scorcher of enemies, like Arjuna. So para can be different meanings, but here means another. So dependence is vashyatam. That's a dependence. So vashya is dependent. So vashya is dependent, and vashyata is dependence. And then paravashyata, dependence on others. This is what I'm saying. These Gita Press translations are so good. If you read the Ramayanam translation of Gita Press, you will learn the entire language. But they do such a wonderful job of translating every single word very faithfully, according to Vyakaranam, according to the context, according to the parampara. according to the tikas of which are available. So this is really a great boon that we have. If you want to practice the language, nothing like Ramayanam. Literally, and with the Gita plus translation in English, you will learn so much. You'll be surprised without being afraid too much. So this is Valmiki's greatness. He takes the language in a simple way, and he leads you all along the way. So once you read Ramayanam, you will not be. In fact, Valmiki also says that in the Ramayanam. So Vakpatutvam, so that you will get that Vakpatutvam from Ramayanam. So this thing, see how beautifully translate. So Vashya is dependent, Vashyata is dependence, and Paravashyata is dependence on others. Okay. Due to which, what's in Ravi? Due to which? What's in Ravi? Due to which?
Yat.
Yat. That's because. That's the yat. This is the one thing tricky is yat is avyayam. It is not possible.
Shakyam na.
Yeah, shakyam and na. Not is na. Shakyam is possible. I think for me is understood. So maya. Tyaktum, you supply the maya. Maya is supplied from the context. Because Sita is speaking. To yield up.
Parityaktum.
Parityaktum. And life is?
Jivitam.
He says life. He's not qualifying jivita as to somebody else. That jivitam is a neuter noun. The act of living or life. That is by napumsake bhavektaha. Napumsake bhavektaha. So 33114. This is not 32102. It's 33114. Then by my own will is free will.
Atmachandena.
Atmechaya. Okay. So let's look at the next sarga in some briefly. Shadvimsha sarga, 26 sarga. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Atmachandaha.
Yes.
Is that Sashti Samasa, Sashti Katpusha?
Yes, Shashti Samas, yes. Atmanaha.
Atmanaha.
Here's Atmana Shashti. It's Shashti right here, right? It's Atmanaha. The sutram is two
Is that Sashti Seshe is what
yeah.
we use?
Yeah, Sheshe only, yes, correct. Sheshe.
Can you go over that compared to that? Kartru Karmano Kriti once more, or as an example somewhere.
Yeah, Kartru Kriti means that, this is something which is, see here what we had was that we had the, what did we have? Oh, the Santarjanam, right? This is the Krit Pratyaya being used, so this is something which is done by them. Well, here it's coming. It is like my will. It is like I own my will. It is my possession. It's my will. So it is a sambandha. The Swami sambandha. So it is a will of mine. It's not like done by me. So it is not like I'm the doer or I'm the subject or object of that. It is like just connecting with me. So that is the Shashti Sheshe. But this one, it is not like Santajanam is like owned by the Rakshasis. They are the ones who are doing the threatening. So that's the Kartru Karmanoha Kriti. And we have to Krit Pratyaya also to be because this Pratyaya Lyut, Krit Pratyaya is being used. So Kartru Karmanoha Kriti is used when there is a subject or the object of that, Krit Pratyaya is being used over here. But Sambandha is just like, like possession, connection there. So that's the difference between these two. And both can be compounded. Of course, the Sutram Shashti 228 will compound the Sheshe, Shashti, Sheshe all the time. And by the Vartikam, Krudyoga Shashti Samasyate, that Vartikam will also compound the 2365. Okay.
Another question is, Chandaha, what is the Vipatti of Chandaha?
There's a Dhatu, I think, by that. There's a Dhatu Chanda, I think. Let's check that. I think there's a Dhatu. Let me see. Chanda. I think I'm pretty sure Dhatu Chanda. Means to will or to Ichataka, I think it is. So let's see if we can get Chanda. Chanda. I think it's a Dhatu. So Dhatu is Chanda. So Chanda is to please, to gratify, to cause, to delight. Okay. Slightly different meaning, I guess. But But here it means to chanda is to, to your fancy or your will. So, but anyway, dhatu chanda, it comes from the dhatu. Okay. Now, Shadvimshaha. Rakshasi bhistarjamana janaki marane api naivaham tadangi karam anumamsye iti pratijanana स्वनयनार्थम रामानागमने कारणानि विकल्पयन्ति बहुशो विलपति. So राक्षसीभिस्तर्ज्यमाना जानकी मारणे अपि नैवाहं तदंगीकारम् अनुमंस्ये इति प्रतिजानाना स्वनयनार्थम रामानागमने कारणानि विकल्पयन्ति बहुशो विलपति. You do Pachya Ravi for us, please.
Rakshasibhi Tarjyamana Janaki Marane Api Na Eva Aham.
Simple sandhis, na eva is naiva vruddhirechi, and then akasami dirgha eva aham is eva aham. Go ahead.
Tadangikaram Anumamsye iti Pratijanana Swanayanartham Ramanagamane Karanani Vikalpayanti Bahushaha Vilapati.
Let's go to compounds now. Which compounds do we have? We have the tadangikaram. You put down here, Ravi has put down here, tasya angikaram is swikaraha. Anga is like a limb or part of oneself. So angi means something which is not a part of oneself, is being made, is transforming to a part of you. This pratyaya chvi, which we have seen in previous classes, I'll give you sutras for that, is used for example spashtikaranam. Something which was not clear is being transformed into becoming clear. Shuklikaranam, something which was not white, that thing is transforming to becoming white. So angi, what we says angam sampadyamanam or sampadyate. So something which was not, here angam is basically acceptance. To make it a part of you means to accept it. Something which was not acceptable is being transformed, is changing to acceptable. So angikara is acceptance. Simply speaking, angikara is acceptance, to make it a part of you, to accept angikara. You go to the Vyakaranam is, again, if you want to do some homework, is that Angi iti, this is from this, Angikara comes in the Amar Koshaha. If a word comes in the Amar Koshaha, which means that your job is pretty much done, because there are very good commentaries Amar Koshaha. One of the most famous ones is the commentary by Bhanuji Dikshitaha. Bhanuji Dikshitaha was the son of Bhattoji. So he says, Angi iti chvyantam avyayam. Again, you cannot read these commentaries unless you know some Vyakaranam. If you don't know any Vyakaranam, and if you read this commentary, he says, Angiti Chvyantam Avyam. Then what in the world does that mean? What is Chvyantam Avyam? It means Chvi Antam Avyam. It's an Avyam, which is in the ending of Pratyaya Chvi. Chvi. Now what is this Chvi? The Chvi is, in the Wednesday class, we done in great detail this pratyaya chvi. So chvi is Sutram 5450. Abhuta tadbhave kru vasti yoge sampadyakartri chvi. Means abhuta tadbhave, which was not there before, it is now going to be, is now coming to that. Something which was not there is going to be there now. Then it says sampadyakartri, it is transforming itself. The same thing is transforming. When the kru vasti yoge, it has to be used in connection with dhatu kru bhuvaras. In fact, remember Sutram Krinchanu Prujyate Liti, which we have been studying in the Vyakarana Vibhagaha, we have been using 3-1 for like Darshayamasa, Ashvasayamasa, Krinchanu Prajite Liti, and we talked about how this Kri in that Sutram 3-140, the Pratyahara, that Pratyahara was formed using this Sutram 5-350, which we are talking about now, which is, 5-450, which is Abhuta Tadbhave, Kribvasti Yoge, Sampadya Kartrichvahi. In the Ashtadhyaya, sometimes you have a Pata Bheda. And this Sutram, this Kribvasti Yoge, is put down, separately sometimes, like a Vartikam and Abhuta Tadbhave. Abhuta Tadbhave might be taken separately out, but anyway, it doesn't matter. The Sutram is 5-450. The condition is still there, but it might be taken like as a Vartikam. But Krubvasti Yoge, Sampadyakartri Chvihi. The Pratya Chvihi is a 0. This was called Sarvapahara Lopaha. Because of the sutras Chutu, Upadesha Jananasikayit, and then Verapuktasya. When the Vakara, Aprukta Ekal Pratyaha, when the Vakara remains behind singly, it also takes Lopaha by 6-167, which is Verapuktasya. So when the Chvi Pratyaya, the entire Pratyaya goes away. Then why do you need to have it? Because it creates an avyayam, which now has the gati sanya by uryadi chvi dachascha. Normally we talk about upasargas, right? Like, we have like anugachati, pragachati, sangachate, all that things. So paradeyaha, upasarga kriya yoge, but gatishcha. The paradis get the upasarga sanya kriya yoge, but they also get the gati sanya. Then why have 2 sanyas? But the gati sanya also extends to a number of other terms, kriya yoge. One of them is chvi. When the chvyantam is an avyayam with the gati sanya. Why is that useful? Because that can now compound. It can now compound by kugati pradeyaha. Kugati pradeyaha, you can now form a compound by 2-280 kugati pradeyaha. So right now we have the angi as a chvyantam avyayam by 5-450. Now, and then tatpurvakat kriyo bhave ghai. Then we form an abstract noun, taking dhatu kri, with this compound with this angi, which is the gati sanya, and make it angikara, acceptance. So something which is not of oneself is transformed into becoming of oneself, which being accepted, and that act, that karaha, the act of that, the act of acceptance means basically acceptance. Now one last thing is the ikaraha comes with sutram asyachvau by 7-432 asyachvau. If you have avarnantam angam for pratyaya chvihi, then that avarna takes the ikara adesha by asyacho. In fact, that's a good way to identify these, like spashtikaranam, shuklikaranam, angikara, svikara. So when you see that e coming at the end there, sutram asyacho is a tip off. The tip of that maybe the pratyachvi has come. Now Mamsye will be, today we saw in the Vyakarana Vibhaga, we saw the lut lakaraha. In the next class, maybe I think mostly in the next class itself, we look at the lakara rit. And today we saw the sutram already, 3-133, syatasi lutoho, syatasi lutoho. This is the lakara rit. It's also in the future tense. Also in the future. This does not have the condition of anadyatane. So this is the rit sheshe. This is the one. It is coming in the bhavishyati adhikara, which starts from 333, and it says rit sheshe cha. This is like a miscellaneous future tense. So while the lut is specifically anadyatane. So we get the lut lakara, then since this dhatu is atmanipadi dhatu, we get the it pratyaha, not the agamaha, because we get ta atam ja, ta atam dham, id vahi mahi. It pratyaya comes, then of course lakara lit has takara, is a tit lakara, so we get tit atmanipadanam tere, and then syatasi lulatoho. This dhatu is anudattopadesha. Let's go to our list. Let's go to the wall. Go to the Vyakarana Bhittihi and Nanteshu. Manya hana udvau nanteshu. So this is a nakaranteshu. Manya hana udvau. There are only two dhatus in nakaranta dhatavaha which do not allow an idagamaha. And manya is one of them and han is the other one. So we get only mam, sya, te. Then of course between sya and a we get atogune because we have apadantakaraha followed by a guna letter. We get puraparyo ekadeshaha. And then of course we get nashchapadantasya jali anuswaraha. Anumamsye we get this the upasarga sanya. This is not a compound. Tingantam na samasyate. A tingantam doesn't compound. So anuman is to permit. I will not allow. I will not consent. Now let's go back to shloka for a second. Is that so? Ravi, where does the iti begin in this shloka? What do you think? Iti. Where does the quotation begin?
Marane.
Yeah, correct. Marane api na eva aham tadangikaram anumamsye. So marane sati api. Marane api sati. So even on being killed. So maranam, so this maranam is death. Maranam is killing. Even on killing. Even on killing. Means even on being killed, basically even on killing. So maranam is killing. Maranam is dying. Maranam is dying. Maranam is killing, to cause someone to die. So even on killing. So even if they were to kill me, I will not consent to the acceptance, to his acceptance, accepting Ravanaha. So marane api naivaham tadangikaram anumamsye iti. So the iti is that Sita makes a promise that I will not consent. I will not give in to that anuman. Anuman is to consent, to accept Ravana's acceptance even on being killed. So marane api. So Janaki. Then Pratijanana comes in Bhagavad Gita. Sudharman Parityajya, very famous shloka of Gita. Sudharman Parityajya, Mamekam Sharanam Vaja, Amswasrupapebhyo, Mokshish, no, I'm just saying, that's also famous shloka. Mokshishami Mashuchaha. Then Pratijane Priyosime. Just come, I think same chapter. Chapter 18. Manmana bho madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskaro. Mame vaishi satyante pratijane priyosime. Okay, that's where it is. Manmana bho madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskaro. Mame vaishisi satyante pratijane priyosime. So I promise you, you will come to me. So manmana bho, think of me alone. Madbhaktaha, madhyaji, sacrifice to me. Man namaskuru, so, pay respects to me. Mame vaishyasi satyan, you will definitely come to me. I promise you. That is a very famous shloka of Gita. Manmanabho madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Mame vaishyasi satyante pratijane priyo. Pratijane is to promise, pratijane, to make a positive statement. So Krishna says that you are dear to me. You will definitely come to me if you do these things. So now pratijane, same dhatu pratignya. Pratignya is to promise. Now this prati plus nya, the special sutram here is to make it atmanepadam. And that sutram is, if you take for homework, look at 1346 for homework. So as soon as you look at this number, you should know you're talking about something making atmanepadam. Because we have seen adhikara repeatedly, anudattagnita atmanepadam. So for 1312. And so this sutram 1346, and then of course we know the adhikara of sheshat kriti parasapadam from 1378. So this sutram is 1376, is in the adhikara of atmanepadam. 1346. 1340 says sampratibhyam anadhyane. So what is the special meaning of anadhyane? Any other meaning? The prati plus nya will take atmanepadam. Sampratibhyam anadhyane. 1346. You want to take some homework. So you see this, if you know the adhikara well, it's not too difficult now to get this meaning, because you already know this is the adhikara of atmanepadam. So all the sutram says is that if you have this upasarga prati, and then following that if you have this dhatu nya, then barring that one meaning, which is anadhyane, adhyane. This adhyanam is utkantha smaranam. You yearn for something. You remove something with a great yearning. Utkantha smaranam. We don't have that right now. So we don't have to worry about anadhyane. Sam pratibhyam. So following sam and prati, this dhatu nya takes atmanipadam. Because otherwise in the dhatu partha, look at the dhatu nya, which is avabodhane, which is 9.43. It is a Prasyapadi dhatu. 9.43 says that 943. 943 says nya avabodhane. It has no it letters. So remember, Anudatta Gnitapadam doesn't apply. So without that sutram, right, 1346, which is the Sampratibhyamana Dhyane, it will be difficult to get Atmanipada. It may have been difficult. Of course, that's not the only rule. I'm not giving every rule, but that's the one we need right now. But Nya also mentioned other rules also. But right now we can use that. Once you get Atmanipadam, the same thing, present participle. Add the pratyaya, let vartamani, let, which we have done many times now. And then let us shatrishana chava prathama samadhikarane, let the pratyaya shanacha, then the gana vikaranaha shna, kriyadibhyashna. This is the kriyadi ganaha. Then you do anubandhan lopaha, and then the ane muk which we use that only applies, which is the adantamangam, because ane muk has the anuvritti from ato ye yaha, which we have studied. Again, the same thing here. Even though we don't know the sutram ane muk, I mean, we've done this in this class previously, but you may not know in detail, but we know sutram ato ye yaha. So ane muk only applies when you have adantam angam. What do we have right now? We have jana. It is prior, the angam for the ana, which is show the shanach, is jana. One more thing is the sutram nya jan or ja. So shiti pare is dhatu nya and jan takes the ja adesha, like na jayate mriyate va kadachan. So these two dhatus, nya avabodhane and jana, jani pradurbhave, they take the nya adesha, anekashi sarvasya, sorry, ja adesha, anekashi sarvasya, shiti pare. Because the pratyashna has talavesha as an it, so that is following, so we get jana ana. No mukha, so just janana. And then of course finally we add the pratyaya top in striyam become janana. Prati janana is a tatpurusha compound kugati pradeha. Prati means promising. Now one more last time is that even though the sutram says 3 to 124 aprathama samadhikarane, because the prior sutram already had vartamane lat, again Pani says lataha. So then it means that sometimes we can also use in Prathama Samadhi Karane. So it's Pratijana, it's Prathama Samadhi Karane by the Vyakhyanam. Vyakhyanam allows us to do that. And then this dhatu is, what else do we have here? Iti Pratijana Swanayanartham. So Swasya Nayanam. Nayanam is taking ni, dhatu ni Nayanam. So this is the Pratya Lyutcha. So today we saw this sutram is jivitam in the prior shloka, and that was napumsake bhavektaha. Now we look at lyutcha, the next sutram, lyutcha. So nayanam is taking, again bhavarte is taking. So swasya nayanam, so taking her. Taking swasya nayanartham means for the purpose of taking. So swasya nayanam, so that is the artha, the purpose of taking. For the purpose of taking. Ramasya anagamane. Again, agamanam, same thing. Pratya lyutcha. So, in the subject matter of why Rama is not coming to take her, swasya nayanam, and swasya nayanam ivartha. So artham. So for that purpose, swasya nayanartham Ramanagamane karanani vikalpayanti. She tries to reason out, various reason out, is why Rama is not coming to take her. then bahusha vilapati. She laments in various ways. That bahusha, this pratyaya is the pratyaya. Let me see if I can find this one. I think it's bhaval partha chat. So let's see, bhaval. Let's see. I think this is a pratyaya shas in the sense of, sabhusha means in many ways. We used. Let's see. Can I find? Yes, here it is. Bhaval partha chas karakadanyatarasyam. So in any karaka. So bahusha can means, you can say bahubhe prakaraihi in many ways. It can mean bahubhe, it can be in bahun, it can be in, bahushu. I think we can probably take it here. Bahusha means bahubhe prakaraihi. In many ways, she laments in variety of ways. She laments vilapati. So, okay. So swanayanam and then artham yasya. So that is who's. So it is the purpose of taking. And then this swanayanartham, you can take it is that agamanam. This is yatha syat tatha. Swanayanartham, you can take it as yatha, is an adverb. So it's an agamanam. It's a coming. In this case, anagamanam, not coming, whose purpose is for taking her. So that coming is such that it has a purpose, and the purpose is taking her. So swanayanam, swaswanayanam, artha, yasya tat. And that is, I think, used adverbially over here because I told these neuter nouns, so neuter adjectives, they can be used as adverbs in the Dvitiya Ekvachanam. In the Dvitiya Vibhakti. So it says, so we get the swanayanartham is coming or not coming for taking her. Then karanani, in that matter, karanani, the reasons, vikalpayanti. Now, same, we just had that akroshanti, same thing, vikalpayanti. The only thing here, dhatu is kripu. Again, thanks to Ravi. Kripu is a little bit of strange dhatu. Kripu samarthya. That comes in Gita, brahmabhuyaya kalpate. But so we get, but vikalpa says, so vikalpa is like to vikalpa is to change, to argue back and forth. So vikalpayanti means she thinks and thinks again, kind of, she gives a reason, then she again changes the reason, so on and so forth. So her mind is wandering. Vikalpayanti means she is thinking of a variety of reasons of why, Rama had to come to take us. Vikalpayanti. So Krupu Samarthya, Pratyaya Nich you had is by Hetumati Cha. Then do the Guna Adeshaha, Uranraparaha. Then a special sutram for the Dhatu Krupu. And this is Krupo Ro Laha is 8 to 18. In fact, we have seen the sutram, which is the Upasargasyayatau. We saw it sutram, Upasargasyayatau, like Palayanam, so Palayati, so Palayate, so Para Ayate Palayate. So that we have seen that when the Refa takes the Laka, the Shak, and the same thing is that if you know the sutram next door, it is not too difficult to understand this sutram. In fact, Anuvritti of Rolaha was going into the sutram, Upasargasyayatau, which we have studied in detail. So Kripo Rolaha means this is Ra becomes a Lakaraha. So it becomes Karpi and becomes Kalpi after that. So one time Dhatu Kripu Samarthya, and then so Kripu is to be capable. So Kalpayati means to make capable. Vikalpayati means to kind of make, back and forth, transform. So Vikalpanam means maybe, may not be. That maybe, may not be. So that is Puganda Lukupasacha, Urandaparaha, then Anupanda Lopaha, as usual, Sanadhyanta Dhatavaha, then Kruporo Laha. And then you add the Pratyaya, same thing here, get the Shatra Adeshaha. And then only one thing I would like to point out here is that because Kalpate, that is a Akarmaka Dhatu, to be capable. But how about in English? Same thing word in English, right? So Kalpate is to be capable. So Kalpate is to be capable is Kalpate. Kalpate. So this Dhatu comes into English as being capable. So now when you add a Pratyaya Nich, normally by Sutam Nichascha, we should be allowed to use either Padam, Apnapadam, Parasyapadam. But there's some special rules down here which says that one of them says Anavakarmaka chittavat kartrakat, which means a dhatu which in the non-causative state is akarmaka. In this case, kripu. So kalpati, to be capable, is akarmaka. There is no object for that. Such a dhatu, if it is chittavat kartrakat, means it has a doer which is a living being, then such a dhatu in the causative will only take parasnipadam. So even though Nichashcha was allowing us to use parasnipadam and apanipadam, but this one 1388 says if you have a dhatu, which is akarmakaha, which is chittavar kartrakaha, which means the doer of that is, in this case Sita, is a sentient being, and such a dhatu in the causative will only take parasnipadam. That's why only shatru pratyaya comes here, because left parasnipadam tangana atmanipadam shatru as parasnipadam. Then you should add the pratyaya shap anubandha lopaha. And same thing that we had akroshanti numagamaha by shapshanor nityam. Shapshanor nityam. In agamanam, same thing dhatu gamru add the pratyaya lyut bhave, because napumsake bhave taha lyutcha. So you get you becomes ana, you are anako, because you becomes ana, which we have said. Any time you are looking for a adesha in place of pratyaya, always think of 7.1. My teacher's favorite thing, beginning of 7.1, is when the pratyaya, like atobhisa, is, and all these rules. So here the you becomes ana, agamanam. Then na agamanam, anagamanam. Same is negation that purusha, sutra nai. Then we get na lopo nayaha, tasma nudachi. Nakar of nai goes away. If you want to do some homework, look at 6373, 6374. 6373 removes the nakara of nai, and 74 puts the nut agamaha following that. So we get the anagamanam. And Ramasya anagamanam is the non-coming of Ramaha. And in that matter, Tasmin is in that matter, Vishaya Saptami, in that matter. So in the context of that. And of course, Maranam is the bring pranatyage, but this is Maranam is to make somebody die, means to kill. Same thing, Pratya Nich by Hetumaticha. Then Acho Niti Uran Raparaha and Sanajanta Dhatava, the Dhatu Mari. So Mari now means killing, causing to die. And then same Pratya Lut by Lutcha becomes Ana as before by Yuranakav, and the Lopaha first. And then Niraniti. Anidada Vardhatuke Pare Ne, one of my teacher's favorites, Ruthis. Anidada Vardhatuke Pare Ne Lopasyat. So Pratya, which is Ana, cannot take it agama, which is not Valadi, cannot take it agamaha. So then what happens is that the niche takes Lopaha, becomes Maranam. And of course finally Natvam Atkupa Nimgavayepi. And Tarjamana, similar, Tarja Bhatsane, but this is passive now. So here in the passive, of course, because of Bhava Karmanoho, only Atmanipadam can be used, which means that when you make a participle, only Shanach will be used. And in the meanwhile, we'll get the Sarvadhatike Yak Pratyaha, Anubandha Lopaha, and then here Ane Mukh. Because when you add the Yak, we get the Adantam Angam, Angam and Akaraha. So Tarjya is Adantam Angam. Then that will take the Mukh Agama by 7282 Ane Mukh with Tarjamana. And then when we want to make it feminine, add a top on top, Ajadyata top, make it Tarjamana. Now, the Dhatu Tarja also in the Churadi Ganaha, if we had used that one, then we had to add the Pratyaya Nish, make it Tarji. And that time we'd have to use again the Niraniti, Anidada Vardhatuke Parene Lopasyat. So if you Churadi Gana Dhatu, you'll have to use Niraniti. Otherwise you don't need it, so you get the Vibhakti. That's the Prakriya. Okay, are we ready, sir? So making up her mind. What do you think? What can we use?
Anumansiye?
I think this one, Iti Patijana. I think that is the. I think they're promising, resolving, I guess, resolving. So Patijana is to promise, to promise means to be firmly convinced that this is not good. So I promise you this, means that I will, I'll make sure that it happens. I think that's what it's making up her mind. This is Pratijana na. Let's see how it fits. Now not is, we got it.
No.
Not it, no. To submit to the advances of Ramana. Let's see. To submit is, I think Anumansiya Ravi.
Okay.
And Anuman is to agree to approve, to submit. So Anumansi. So no Anumansi, I will not submit. To the advances of Ravana,
Tadangikaram.
Tadangikaram. So Tasya Ravanasya Angikaram. Acceptance of Ravana. Even
Api.
On the pain of death,
Marane.
Api na eva. I think that na eva is included here, then that even api eva. And then when menaced is
Tarjyamana.
being threatened, tarjyamana by the aggresses is
Rakshasibhihi.
So tarjyamana is passive. So the doers have gone in the tritiya because of 2-3-18. When we do the karaka prakanam, when you do the prakanam with karakas, we'll come back to this, and I mean, we'll look at all these topics again. So 2-3-18 is sutram kartikarani of tritiya, anabhite. And so that is the rakshasivi, and it's probably supplied, indulging in speculation.
Vikalpayanti.
That's a good word, speculating. Vikalpayanti, speculating. So klip is to be capable, kalpayati is to make it capable, or to fashion, or to prepare, or to make ready. That's kalpayati. But vikalpayati means to kind of speculate, to move back and forth. So vikalpayati. As to why is reasons. I think reasons as to why.
Karanani.
I think karanani. Sri Rama was not turning up.
Ramanagamane.
Ramasya Nagamane, in the matter of the non-arrival of Rama, to rescue her.
Swanayanartham.
So Swasya Nayanam, Rakshanam is the moksha, and Sevartha. Or you can say, what we can say is that we can make it a bahuvrihi. Swasya Nayanam Artha Yasya Tat, and then make it a Kriya Visheshanam for the Agamanam. Sita is Janaki. Wales.
Vilapati.
In various ways.
Bahushaha.
Bahuvi prakarihi. So that bahu, the patya shas can be used karakad. Any karaka can be used. It has to be a sense of, many or a few. So there's many ways. Time is really up, but I can just read the next sloka and we'll stop with that. I'm trying to keep a balance between not spending too much time. Yes, Vasu.
One comment in here, in the Amarakosha, where the Angikara shloka,
yes.
Interestingly, Pratigyanam is also mentioned in the same sloka.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one way or the other, either you accept it or you promise on the basis of acceptance.
I see, okay, good. Thank you. So apparently in Amarakosha, so this is a little play on words going here. So Prati Pratigyanam is also considered as accepting that this I will surely do this, you promise, you make it your own. Okay, let's leave the shloka and we stop with that. Dhanyaha Kalu Mahatma is also a good shloka of Gita, of Ramayanam. Both these shlokas are quite famous. This one here, this Dig Manusham and all that, Digast Kalu Manusham, and this one also, which is the Dhanyaha Kalu Mahatmano Munayaha Satya Sammataha Jitatmano Mahabhara Yesham Nastaha Priya Priye. Very nice shloka of Ramayanam. Dhanyaha Kalu Mahatmano Munayaha Satya Sammataha Jitatmano Mahabhara Yesham Nastaha Priya Priye. Padacheda Ravi? That's right.
Dhanyaha.
Go ahead.
Kalu.
Mahatmanaha.
Munayaha. Satyasammataha.
So this is Prathama Bhavachanam. Dhanyaha, Mahatmanaha, Munayaha, Satyasammataha. Of course, Kalu is an Amviyam. And these Sandhirus we know Hashisha and all that we're not repeating in this class anymore, like Namo Narayanaya. So this is Hashisha is taking place here. Okay, go ahead.
Jitatmanaha.
Also Prathama Bhavachanam. Jitatman Pradipadikam.
Mahabhagaha.
Also Prathama Bahuvachanam, Mahabhagaha. So here we have Hali Sarvesham, Mahabhagaha.
येषां
Yesham
न
na
स्तः
staha
प्रियाप्रिये.
priya priye. So staha is the latlakaraha Prathama Purusha Dvivachanam. So yesham, so those who do not have anything to like or not to like, such great souls, the rishis, satyasammataha, I guess who are, it says one way to do satyasammataha is satyam brahma sammatam atmatvena yesham te, who know or who are in accordance with the Supreme, satyasammataha, who have conquered their minds and who are highly fortunate. They are indeed blessed. So blessed are those souls, those high souls, who do not have any likings or dislikings. And they are highly fortunate ones who have understood the Supreme, you can say in one way, and who have conquered their minds, because they don't have anything which is dear or not. This is a good shloka of Ramayanam. It's a good note to stop today's class. We'll continue from here next time again. Sorry for the delay. But it's a nice shloka of Ramayanam. If you want to do for some homework, you can, there's some compounds here. This is a Bahuvari compound. Mahan Atma Yesham Te, the high soul ones. Same thing. So Jitaha, Atma, maybe Yaihi Te, those conquered themselves. Antakaranam. Atma has various meanings. It can mean, it can mean your mind, it can mean your body, it can mean, of course, the soul, it can mean Jivatma, it can mean Paramatma. So here, a couple of different meanings here. It can mean Antakaranam, one who conquered their minds. So Bahuvari compounds, and then Priya Priya is a Dvandva compound. So not much homework. We'll continue with this next time. So from this shloka next, we'll do some Vyakaran. Ramo Rajamani Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Nishachar Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Rama Nasti Paranam Parataram Ramasya Sosmyaham Rame Chittale Sada Bhutame Bhorama Mamuddhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattuliyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana Undamati. Are we okay, Ravi and Vasu?
Yes, Satish.
Okay. Thank you again for everybody.